Defense and Space News TV report. Hello defense lovers, the Indian Air Force has been undergoing a modernization programs to replace and upgrade its aging and outdated equipment since the late 90s to advanced standards. For that reason it has started procuring and developing aircraft, weapons, associated technologies, and infrastructures. Some of these programs date back to the late 80s. In this article we'll discuss about the upcoming future projects of Indian Air Force. For long Indian Air Force has been ridiculed as imported Air Force, which always makes the best case to import crucial types of equipment like fighter jet rather than supporting indigenous route in product development to meet its requirements. The primary focus of current modernization and upgrades is to replace aircraft purchased from the Soviet Union that currently form the backbone of the Air Force. At the current rate of development it is safe to say that by 2030 to 35 Indian Air Force would be ready to face any threat head-on and would most likely become one of the most technologically advanced Air Force in the world. The Indian Air Force will receive 40 upgraded Su-30 Mkis capable of carrying the BrahMos cruise missile possibly by 2020. The Sukhoi, HAL 5th generation fighter aircraft, FGFA, or Perspective Multi-Role Fighter, PMF, is a 5th generation fighter being developed by India and Russia. Sources said the new fighter will cost Russia and India $8 billion to develop, and India will pay about 35% of the cost. It will take 10 years to develop FGFA. It is expected that Sukhoi, HAL FGFA will join Indian Air Force in 2019 as previously it was decided that it will join EAF in 2017, but Indian Ministry of Defense announced a 2-year delay. In addition, there are also plans to integrate the nuclear-capable Nirbhay missile with the aircraft as well. The Indian Air Force in 2024 will have finally arrested the continued decline in its combat aircraft strength and attain a combat fighter aircraft fleet of 42 squadrons. For the first time, its fighter fleet will consist almost exclusively of twin-engine fighters in the Rafale, Sukhoi HAL Perspective Multi-Role Fighter, PMF, Su-30 Mki, upgraded, MiG-29 UPG and Jaguar strike fighter with the exception of upgraded Mirage 2000s, Tejas light combat aircraft, LCA, and few numbers of the MiG-21 Bison. It would have to cater for retirement from service of its entire MiG-27 fleet, an estimated 80 aircraft, and MiG-21 fleet, approximately 150 aircraft, starting a few years from now. The EAF currently operates 9 squadrons of the venerable MiG-21, including 6 squadrons of upgraded MiG-21 Bisons. By 2024, however, the indigenous Tejas Mk2 production line should be running at full steam so that it can churn out the replacements for the MiG-21 and MiG-27S that would have been retired by then. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, can realistically be expected to produce up to 12 Tejas Mk2 per year. The only question which remains about the EAF's fighter fleet for the future, will be the replacement for its MiG-29 UPG, Jaguar strike fighter and upgraded Mirage 2000s. This is, of course, much further in the future, around 2035 onwards. Ideally, the replacement for these types would be the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, AMCA, to be developed by Defense Research Development Organization, DRDO, and HAL. The entire effort from developing the required technologies to design, development, flight testing and induction into a service of a modern high-performance twin-engine fighter would be at least 15 years, realistically. Hence, if work on developing such an aircraft begins in earnest next year, then it should enter squadron service by 2030. This should be possible to do for a combat fighter aircraft that offers nominally better performance than the Rafale does today, or at least the Su-30 Mki. Realistically though, it must be questioned if sufficient resources will be available for the AMCA to be developed in time. The Tejas Mk2 will take up a significant effort, and allotting scarce design resources towards the AMCA in the required numbers could prove difficult. Looking into the future then, in 2030, the IAF would have taken delivery of all 126 Rafales, and be looking at more, about 100 PMF, Sukhoi T-50, out of 144 expected to be ordered, 272 Su-30 MKIs and a mix of upgraded Mirage 2000s MiG-29s and Jaguars not totaling more than 230. This would make for a combat aircraft fleet of 772 fighter and strike aircraft. Attrition, of course, will also take place, and for purposes of illustration estimate this to be approximately 2% across the total fleet size for the Rafale and PMF over a 15-year period, under 5% attrition for the Su-30 MKI and approximately 8% for the upgraded older fighter types. These percentages are for the purposes of representation only and are not based on accident rates of the IF. Hence, by 2035, the IAF would have approximately 123 Rafales and 140 PMFs. The Su-30 MK fleet would be around 260 plus and around 210 plus upgraded fighter aircraft, MiG-29, Mirage 2000 and Jaguar, for a total of 733. The IAF will also have at least 120 Tejas MKI and Mk2 fighters, 40 and 80 respectively. By then, the IAF will still require a light fighter, and purchasing more numbers of either the Su-30 MKI, Rafale or PMF are unlikely to be the solution due to their expense and operating costs. The options for a replacement light fighter from the global market for the Tejas Mk2 are limited. Saab's JAS 39E Gripen, due to enter service in 2018, could make for high-capability replacement option, if the Tejas Mk2 has performance shortfalls significant enough for the IAF to look at another type. At an estimated $50 million a copy, well-equipped, the JAS 39E has also been designed to be exceptionally cost-effective to operate, considering the high-end capability on offer. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and stay with us.